Yeah, okay, now I'm reminding you this is on record and this I'm going to share with others as well, but I'm not going to mention your name or any personal information, right? You can just listen. I will be saying, explaining the situation without any personal details. So basically, in a nutshell, what happened? We had a session. You came with certain emotional problem that you wanted to resolve, right? We worked with them. We found some childhood, what people would call childhood trauma. Yes, certain traumatic experience that had, after which you have made certain bad decisions, wrong decisions, incorrect decisions about who you are. So you thought that like you're weak, you cannot defend yourself and whatever, right? And that was directly related to your situation, because in that situation where you are in, your boundaries are not being protected, they are being violated. Certain people doing certain things to you, and it feels like you cannot hold, your ground, right? So now answering your question. So basically what happened is we did have a session and feels like, okay, I'm good. But now after this, it feels like things are getting worse, because before you had those problems, right? And you had some maybe depressive episodes when you would sit, just don't feel like doing anything and whatever. Now it feels like it's getting even worse, because now you start speaking about these situations with others. And as you're speaking about it, you might start crying, you might start feeling angry. And now it feels like it's getting worse, because before at least you were able like to cope, and now you feel like you sharing it with others and you're crying and angry and whatever. That's one thing. And the second thing what I want to talk about is that the part related to feels like is my iman is low, because now I am asking questions why those things are happening to me. I'm trying to be a good Muslim, good Muslimah, good wife, good, I don't know, mother, friend, whatever, doesn't matter. But those things are happening to me, like, so why? It's almost as if while Allah is doing this to me and I'm trying to be good, I'm like wearing niqab and stuff, did your best to be a loyal wife, obedient wife, and then it start feeling like, what's the point of doing good and doing all those extra? Correct, right? Correct. Hmm. So here is the answer in a nutshell. So it feels like things are getting worse because now you are experiencing those feelings. Well, what you came in, you did not come in to sort out the situation in a, let's say, legal way, or to sort out situation in a, you can say, financial way. So we did not do anything to change the situation directly. We started to work with emotions, because I'm working with emotional problems. And on your emotional, you were feeling all those things. You was feeling sadness and all of that. So we worked with those. So you, the moment you decided I want to work with them, so you gave yourself permission to experience those emotions. It's the same those emotions which create problems. When sometimes you don't feel like doing anything, for example. Now those emotions are there. Those emotions, now you're experiencing them. Before you were suppressing, now they're out. And why those emotions are out? Because they want you to do something. They want you to do something, because before you didn't want to listen to them. Now you are listening to them. Now you need to make certain changes in your life. You either have to start doing certain things you were not doing before, or you need to stop doing things that you were doing previously. It's one of two. In a very general matter, you understand it better how it is related to your situation. So the answer to the question, what is happening, is it getting worse? No, feeling your emotion is getting better. Because the worst thing you can do is to suppress your emotions. And if you're going to keep suppressing it, well, it's just going to become somatic. So that's going to become already body problem, because emotions are physically stored in the body. That you can get all kind of, not you, but that's where person gets autoimmune diseases, cardiovascular system, because it's all heart, blood pressure, everything. People get digestive problem, people get respiratory problem, and all of kind of things. People can tell you about skin disorders related to stress. So those things become very physical and very real, right? So if you're not going to process them. So now they are up. Now it's time to process them, because you remember when I told you, when we were walking through the session, I told you, okay, close your eyes, remember the situation. What do you feel? How do you feel? What thought comes to your mind? So you digged into it. So you opened it, as I would say, can of worms, which is not exactly worms, nothing wrong about them. You open the jar, right? So now they're out. So now you got to deal with them, because in the beginning you say, yes, I want to work with this emotion. And when I say, can you imagine the situation? Can you imagine that traumatic experience you had when you were a teenager? You remembered them. So the fact that you remembered them at that moment, so that you are ready to handle it. If you would not be ready to handle it, for whatever reason, you would not have remembered it. Your body, your mind, your unconscious would not give you access to that. It's very simple. You would be just sitting blank and you'd say, I can't think about it. I can't think of anything when first time I felt this way. But you remembered, and probably it was not there on your mind. Am I correct? Those things that we remembered happened in school. It was not on your mind. It's like you remembered first time. Am I correct? Right. So if that's the case, so it means that you are ready to deal with it. If you would not be ready, you wouldn't have remembered it in the first place. So you have all the resources available to deal with those emotions, which means to feel them. And now once you feel them, it's up to you how to act. Okay? It is up to you how to act now and what decisions to make about your life and so on. That's one thing related to emotion. Then addressing the second point, that it feels like, why am I questioning? Well, congratulations that now at least you acknowledge the situation. Because before you were not acknowledging it, you were avoiding it. Like, in Anonymous Alcoholics, the first step is, hello, my name is such and such. My name is such and such. I'm an alcoholic. So the first step is to recognize the problem when they battle with, alcohol addiction. So yeah, the first step is to recognize the problem. Many people live in your situation or maybe worse situation, and they would say, no, I'm okay. I have a good marriage. Alhamdulillah. My spouse loves me, my children loves me, my family loves me. Everything is good. And deep down, things will be eating them from the inside. And then people say, how come this person out of nowhere died from stroke, heart attack, whatever? Yeah, that's how. Because all those things were inside. So at least you now realize that those things are happening to you. And now you start questioning. So was my behavior like, was I right? What is it all a waste of time? And yeah, I want you to question something that you say. You felt like, okay, I was doing good. I was being a good wife. I was doing my best to be a good Muslim. For example, you wear niqab, not just hijab, niqab, and whatever other extra things that you're doing. Okay? Like, I know, extra prayer, extra sadaqah, you're doing it trying to be good. So, and it feels like I'm doing everything right. So why those things happen to you? Well, my question to you, sure that you might be doing things good to others, but were you good to yourself? That's a question I want you to ask. Were you good to yourself? So you might be good to your children, to your husband, to your parents, to your, I don't know, neighbor, friend, co-worker, whoever. Question, were you good to yourself? Doing extra to others, but maybe you have abandoned yourself. And then you might be thinking, okay, I'm not going to protect my own boundaries, but because I'm going to be good to other people, they're not going to do bad to me. That's not how it works. You have to start by, first of all, being good to yourself, so then you could be good to other people. So you are, so it's like, there are some people who say, who cannot say no. But if you cannot say no, like that's what Gabor Mata says, then every yes that you say doesn't mean anything. Because you should say that, yeah, that's okay with me, I'm saying yes, and it's valuable. And you say, that's not okay with me, I'm saying no. So, but if you say yes to everyone, your yes doesn't mean anything. But if for people to get approval for whatever, they need to get your permission, now that yes becomes valuable, because only few people get it if you explain it very easy. So you have to take responsibility for your well-being. You cannot give responsibility for your well-being to others, hoping I will be good to them and they're gonna be good to me, because not every because that only works if everyone is good. It's not like that. We know that. I mean, as Muslims, we know that not everyone is good. Some good or some bad, and we have our own criteria how to judge it. So when you say I was doing a good to others, why I got this one? Well, you were not doing good to yourself. That's why you got. That's why you got it this way. That's a very simple answer. That's why certain people take advantage. That's why certain people not fulfilling their responsibilities, violating your rights in whatever way. Whether we speak about legally or whatever, religiously, or whether you speak just people not behaving in a decent way, not treating you correctly, how you would expect to be treated, not respecting your boundaries and so on. That's in a nutshell. What I don't know what else I can get. Take responsibility for your life, for your well-being. Don't delegate it to others. Don't delegate it to other people entirely. I realize that you also have agency, and also, like when we ask Allah for things, we also have to make an effort. So if I want to, if I want to, if I want money, I can't just make dua. I need to go and make, like, al-akhdhu bil asbab. So why you think it is different related to your well-being? If you want to be respected, you only want, for example, and you want your boundaries to be respected. It's not just enough to do dua and do good. Do dua, do good, but then also protect yourself. Also hold your ground where you see others are violating it. So that's what I have to say. I'm gonna put the recording off, and then we can talk about your situation specifics. Hold on, recording off.